Good morning, commuters. You get a special Saturday morning commute. So an extra podcast, the Commuters Podcast with Matt Malone. I'm your host. No guest lined up today, unfortunately. No. 82,609 miles on the Ford Escape. My goodness, I'm going to be driving this thing into the ground. Putting a lot of miles on it. Saturday morning, I worked 13 hours yesterday, 13 and a half if you count. I don't get paid for a half an hour lunch, but 13 and a half hours yesterday. Oh my gosh. The thing is it's just the sun's been shining and it's been really windy, and it hasn't been like hot, but it's been warm enough. The sun's been shining, and I don't know if you can hear that obnoxious truck in front of me. What's with little men driving large trucks that are very loud? It is so annoying. I cannot believe how annoying it is. What is the deal? Gosh. Just put them, would they take the muffler off of that thing? Like, why would you want to make your car louder than it already is? I don't understand. Anyway. So, yeah, worked a long day yesterday, and today I'm working. They weren't 100% sure if I was going to work today. Then I called the guy. They're like, yeah, we're working. Yeah, head on out. I'm like, okay, well, I'll be there when I get there. Okay, but it's supposed to rain today, but I guess the rain's going to hold off till a little bit later, so I don't know. But, what is it with these guys and their trucks, and they got to make these trucks louder than they actually are? Good, he's turning. Thank God. Get out of my freaking way, dude. It's like, do they need to accelerate like faster than normal just so it's even louder? I'd totally buzz that guy if he was turning right. Get out of my way, dude. Unbelievable. Stupid trucks. I drive a nice Ford Escape. It's nice and quiet. It's a pedestrian car. Hey, so I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but we're just going to make it up as we go along. Put the cruise control on. Whenever you do a commute on a Saturday, the traffic is even lighter than it usually is. So that's nice. Should be a nice drive, except for that dang truck. Hey, so did you guys see yesterday? iRacing, official iRacing podcast, episode 1 was on the YouTubes. I'll try to, I won't try, but I will link. I'll remember to link the podcast. It's a YouTube video down in the description below. But I just kind of skimmed through it. Forgive me, but I don't remember who was on it except for Kevin Bobbitt. I know Kevin Bobbitt was part of it, and that's awesome, man. Like, an official iRacing.com podcast. Podcasts are blowing up. I'm not saying I had any influence on this. I'm just saying podcasts are blowing up. Yeah, that's really cool. So who knows how that's going to evolve and become what it's going to become. Who knows what kind of guests they're going to have on. They can get on anybody they want, I suppose. Some top-level drivers. Possibilities are endless. Now, it is an audio-only podcast. I wonder if they'll ever do like a sit-down, type of video podcast. I think that'd be pretty cool. A vodcast, is that what they call it? Is that what this is? I don't know. But that could be really cool. That gets some like insight to upcoming builds, upcoming updates. A chance for them to maybe like answer questions from some of the members. Possibilities are really endless with something like that. So that was really cool to see. That was awesome. Just the whole podcast world, really. I mean, you got Sean Cole doing his thing. You have the iRacers Lounge doing his thing. Their thing. I was on the iRacers Lounge podcast. You got the Top Split podcast. You got the warm-up lap with Kevin O'Keefe, and it's pretty cool because people like sim racing. When they're not sim racing, they're talking sim racing, so you might as well put a microphone in front of them, And I know every podcast kind of does their own thing, and they got their own format, and they talk about what they want to talk about. Now, this podcast isn't necessarily just for sim racing, but there's definitely times we're going to be talking sim racing, obviously, and the fact that I want to do more sim racing than I have been. Obviously, I'm missing it, especially now working on a Saturday. It's like it would have been nice to. I wish I could have streamed this morning like a quick early one, but not going to happen. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff I'm working on for the stream right now. I'm going to keep that as a surprise, but you'll definitely realize what's going on there. Not anything big, but kind of fun for the community. Now I'm stuck behind a semi truck. I'm going to be semi-late because of this semi-truck now. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see the whole sim racing universe come together and do some podcasts talking sim racing, and it's pretty cool. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that iRacing one, because I'm like, I didn't hear about this. What are they doing? Are they doing just for fun? Is this going to be a thing? Is it going to be a weekly thing? Is it going to be a monthly thing? Because I know the new community manager, I believe his name is Alex, community manager for iRacing. He's done really well, and I think that he's one of the best things to happen to iRacing in a while, really. Alex Horn, I believe is his name. Don't quote me on that, but he's the one who does. I believe, I don't have any inside knowledge here, but I believe he does a lot of the social media stuff, the posts, the Twitter posts, Instagram. He does the top 10 highlights, the top 10 lowlights videos that they put together. Very well produced, very, very well put together. Really good job. They're doing a great job. And I always kind of knocked iRacing back in the day for not really selling themselves, not really promoting themselves very well. And they're in a different type of situation as like a main racing game would be like Forza, right? Forza Horizon even. And that's in one area of video games. And then you have like iRacing. It's very different, and they choose to promote differently. It seems like iRacing is more geared towards, and they more promote towards real life racing people. Like they'll set up tents and booths at real life racing events. But then you have like people like Forza where, it's AAA game, and they're at all like the big events. Like, I don't know if they were at E3 or not. I didn't keep up with that, but they're at those type of events like E3 and stuff like that, and just like games cons and stuff or whatever. Their promotion is in the video game industry, where iRacing, their promotion lies more in just the racing industry. And I say what you will about it, it costs a lot of money to promote your product. I know that, and to get into that, certain atmospheres may cost more than others, but it's nice to see iRacing really coming along with their social media presence, and if they can kind of extend their promotional tentacles in other areas of the not only the video game world, but now the podcast world, the racing world, it's only going to help them, And I always thought, I'm like, man, they could be exposing iRacing to so many more people if they were to just do this or this, A, B, or C, but it's not really their thing, I guess. But I think the way they can go about it will achieve just as good or better results with the social media aspect of it. I mean, you always see them throwing up like memes and stuff on Twitter, and it does seem, the way they're going about it, and I don't know if this is all on Alex or not, the community manager. I assume a lot of it is, but it just seems like they're really tuned into the community itself, and they're really keeping an eye on the community, and they're part of the community, and that way they can reflect the community better, and it seems more organic and not forced. There's a lot of times where, like the big Peak Antifreeze series NASCAR races going on, and they're tweeting out people's streams, like Casey's stream and stuff like that. And sometimes, with these big events, they'll tweet out people's streams and like make jokes or memes about it. I know they pick fun at me sometimes, which is fine. But yeah, so I think that's a good way to go about it. You always hear about like Wendy's, Wendy's burger place, how their social media presence is hilarious, where they just burn people and have fun with social media. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. I mean, it seems like social media is for like three things, from my experience. One is to just argue and bicker about stupid political crap, right? So check that off the list. Second is just to advertise whatever you're doing. And third is just to have fun and share memes and have fun with the community or whatever. So I think they found their avenue there, and it's a lot of fun to see. And I think they got it figured out. So it's fun it's been fun the last 4 or 5 years since I've been involved in iRacing to see how they've changed and really come along pretty far. And it's only going to get better and better, I would assume. So the more content they add, the more events they go to, the more events they put on, the more money they're dishing out for these esports events, and these huge events that are paying out a bunch of money. And I mean, their broadcast crews are absolutely top notch, better than I've ever seen, and the quality of racing is by far the best in my opinion when it comes to sim racing. A lot of this stuff, it seems like they're not being controlled by these big like advertisement companies that come in and want to change everything, and I mean, you got Porsche involved, but at the end of the day, what's the product? It's an awesome Porsche Cup race with the best drivers, paying out top dollar with the best broadcast you can get, and people are interested, people are vested, people have an interest in not only the drivers but the overall series. And I think they're going about it the right way. They're not getting like hoodwinked by these big corporations. You got to have help. There's no doubt you got to have people come along board and help you push it and help you get things done. But you still want to have that creative control. Anyway, so that's iRacing, man. I'm telling you, it's something, man. I can't wait to see what the future brings. And I know we just got done with this new build with the trucks and updated Silverstone, and I still haven't read the release notes, to be honest. I feel like I'm way out of the loop. But every build makes you think about the next build. It's like, okay, I got all this stuff on a checklist in my mind. I'm not writing this stuff down, but people have like all this stuff like, when's AI coming? When's this new track coming? When's this new car series coming? When's this coming? When's this going to be updated? When's this going to happen? And you have all this stuff on your checklist, and every build that comes out, be like, boom, 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 boom. They got this, that, and the other thing. Check, So what's going to be on the next build? And I think the next two biggest things for iRacing is going to be AI. However you feel about AI, that's a game changer for iRacing. And the way that the general population is going to think about iRacing, that avenue to get them to iRacing, AI plays a huge part of that. Regardless of what you think about AI, whether or not you're going to use it, whether or not you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, it's going to bring more new members into iRacing, which in turn may turn them into good, solid sim racers at the end of the day that are competing with other real-life racers. And just growing the membership base and growing the community and just making iRacing into what it can and should be in the future. So I have mixed thoughts on AI. A part of me thinks it's an awesome thing. It's a good tool. It's a good practice tool. It's gonna, if it's done right. I mean, whenever I talk about AI and iRacing, I'm assuming it's going to work, and they're not going to release it if it's horrible, if it's trash, if it's what you think of AI, in other games. And now I don't have much experience with AI in current games. I've messed around with AI in other games back in the day, and it was always pretty bad. And I've seen videos of people racing with AI, and it's just a matter, you start in the back, and they all just follow in line, and you just dive bomb every corner and use them to bank shot off of apexes, and it's just pretty bad, right? But I think based on past experience with what iRacing does when it actually does release something, whether you're talking day-night transitions, whether you're talking the dynamic road conditions, dynamic weather, they always do it nice and subtle. It's done well. They usually don't release something unless it's pretty much done. Skip Barber, new tire model. Maybe they got a little ahead of themselves there. But although I've heard that's been fixed now, I haven't tried the Skip Barber yet. But there's situations where maybe they got to go back and look at something. But usually, typically, in general, when they do release something, it's well done. There's a subtlety to it that gives it realism, and they do a great job. So when I'm thinking AI for iRacing, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a great tool for people to use. It's going to be great for people that are on iRacing and on the off hours, meaning when the only time they have to race is during the off hours, which means there's no good official racing going on. And this is a way for them to actually get a good full-length racing. People in the forums are talking about they're going to have an all AI league, and you're going to be able to bet on cars and drivers. I guess I think the potential is huge for whatever it's going to turn into. And so I am excited for that. I mean, just imagine being able to jump in any race full grid. You think of a hosted session. When you host a session, you can, on some tracks, you can have up to 62 cars on the track at one time. I would imagine that'd be okay for AI, right? So you can host a session, have 62 AI members on there, and you're in the mix. You're in there racing with them. So I think it's going to give people amazing race practice. You could do standing starts. You could do rolling starts, and it's going to give you a lot of practice for actual races. And obviously, a computer is nothing like a human, but if they can get it close enough, I think it's a game changer, not only for new members, but for current members as well. It's gonna offer up a situation where I can always get a race in. I can always get a race in where there's people competing. I'm competing with people going 2x2 in the corners. Practice your overtakes. You can practice race strategy. Imagine like a big race coming up, like a 12 hours of 12 hours of whatever Sebring, 10 hours of Sebring, or a 24-hour race is coming up. Maybe you practice 4 hours with the AI in your off time. You're not having to deal with a open practice session where people are always going off track and stopping on track because they're practicing, and we got a guy on a flyer, and it's sometimes that kind of practice can be pretty tough because there's a lot of people on the server, and they're all got their own tactics on what they're doing, and they're practicing in their own way. Some guys are practicing a long stint, some guys are practicing their pit ins, some guys are practicing their qualifying, all in the same area, so it gets a little fuzzy, and people are messing around or whatever. So just imagine being able to practice race with 60 or so other cars, and really get into practice a full stint, with other cars around, and So I think AI is definitely one of the biggest game changers coming to iRacing. I don't know when it's coming. I don't have any inside information or anything, but maybe next build, who knows? Let's go. Country roads, baby. Country road, take me home. Oh, I'm not going home now. The next biggest game changer, and this is probably going to be a while, is the new damage model. And the new damage model is going to look, for the promotional videos alone, the new damage model is going to bring so many people into iRacing just because they're going to make some killer freaking promo videos and trailers and, just like, can you imagine the new damage model? You got parts flying off, especially because when you take a look at, I don't know what kind of computers they're running at iRacing when they make these promotional videos, but it must be some NASA computer because they got all these settings completely maxed. I wonder even if they're running like max like cube map settings or how many lights they're running or any of that. Because I know they got the particles way up. I know they got all the textures way up. And it's pretty. I mean, I understand they're running just on a single monitor, and stuff like that. And they're not streaming at the time; they're just recording it. Maybe it's a dual PC setup, probably. And I'm not sure how Alex does it, but they look amazing. And so some of the promo footage that they're going to have for the new damage model is going to be off the chain. It's going to so inspire not only new people to get in, but it's going to inspire even like someone like me who's been racing for 4 or 5 years on iRacing. It is going to be, there's going to be some really cool compilation videos coming together. Can you imagine like the top 10 highlight videos or the top low highlight videos of like this new damage model, and parts are flying off and hoods are decapitating people in the crowds, and you got sparks flying, starting fires underneath the oil pan, and it's going to be absolutely insane. So really looking forward to that. But otherwise, you keep hearing about new series and new cars, and there's always tracks. I mean, you look on the roadside and there's going to be, there's no shortage really of road racing tracks out there for them to scan and to put into iRacing. I mean, we don't even have all of the major tracks. Just imagine all of your local tracks. I mean, I can't, for them to go, let's say, scan like a Monaco or go scan like a Spa, it's got to cost them way more time and effort than to go scan your local road track up the road. Now mind you, nobody really knows about it, but I'm telling you, that would just be like a weekend. They could go scan it. I have no idea how their scanning works, by the way. I mean, I know I've seen the laser thing, but I don't know how much time they spend at tracks and all that stuff. But so I'm just kind of talking out of my ass. But I would just imagine that a much smaller local track with no big grandstands or no big stuff all around, or a short little road track would be much easier for them to first gain access to, and then turn around and turn all that digital data into a iRacing track. So sometime in the future, if they're running out of big tracks, they could always hit up some local ones, I guess is what I'm saying, and just really grow the content base. Maybe they scan three local tracks in a particular state and just release them all as either default content or a package deal, like they did the Pro 2 and the Pro 4 trucks. It was 2 trucks for the price of 1. And, I mean, that's their business model. They can do whatever they want, but you look at tracks like Lime Rock Park and Summit Point, which are not humongous, crazy, just put our state on the map tracks. They're just pretty normal tracks. They got a couple grandstands, about it, so I'm thinking of tracks like that. Anyway, so yeah, just super excited about iRacing, and most of this, I guess, podcast is me just missing iRacing, because I've only been able to do it a couple times this week. So I'm starting to feel withdrawal symptoms, man. I'm like, get in there, brother. Let's floor it. Oh, there's a deer. Oh, you won't be able to see him. No. Oh, nice little deer. I think it was a doe. It was a female deer. Ah, yes. Yeah, so I getting like withdrawals, like I need to race, and I was gonna mess around a little bit, at least today, either behind the scenes stuff or maybe just run a race off stream or something. But there's a Mustang behind me. You want this, buddy? 100% throttle right now. Ford Escape. It's not doing anything. To be fair, I was already going 50 when I punched it, but it doesn't do much. There's always a delay. I think there's like a governor or like a safety delay for some of these pedestrian cars where, like, if you just punch it 100% throttle at a certain speed, it just doesn't do anything. There's like a delay. It's like, whoa, buddy, we'll decide how fast you're gonna go. Should be careful with this car though. I gotta keep it forever and ever and ever now. Oh boy. So yeah, Saturday's probably gonna get rained out. Maybe I have a half a day today. I don't know. Stupid Saturdays, but yeah, what a week. It was a long week. I was glad I got my streams in when I did. By the time that this uploads at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8 a.m., so in like an hour, it doesn't matter what time it is now, but my IMSA race from the other day is going to be released on the YouTube channel. So by the time this releases, go back one video and check that out, because that was a great race at Monza. I really overperformed my talent level, in my opinion. I did really well for a full 45 minutes, so definitely check that out. Lando Norris was in the race, although I don't think he finished the race. Lando. Yeah, so then tomorrow, you got your NASCAR race, okay? You got your NASCAR race. I'm gonna put up a NASCAR race early in the morning, so check that out. And also news from or an update, I guess, from the Indy 500. When I went in partnership with Logitech, and they did the McLaren Shadow event with FA Racing. Go to FARacingEsports.com. I'm the U.S. ambassador for FA Racing, Fernando Alonso's esports team. And if y'all seen the vlogs about the Indy 500, we did a big event. Actral Vision was there broadcasting, and we had 3 members from the McLaren Shadow team versus us, the FA Racing team. There's 3 of us with Christian, myself, and Jamie Chadwick, and we went head-to-head at the Brickyard for a little mini Indy 500 race. But there was a lot of content created from that event, and Logitech and McLaren Shadow put that all together in a really nice video. I will link it down in the description down below, but check it out. You can see I'm in it acting like a doofus most of the time. So I'm in that video. It's produced really, really well. You can kind of see how the race went, because I couldn't like record the race or anything. No spoilers or anything. Maybe you've heard the results, maybe you didn't, but check out that video. I'll link it down in the description. And I did a really good job producing it and putting that together, and it gives you like a whole vibe of the day and the weekend that we had there. So check it out. It is now raining. It's not even louder than it should be in here. I'm just gonna pull. I'm gonna bite the bullet and pull the plug. No, I'm gonna get that new lapel mic, that $50 one, I think, because some of this audio just sucks. So I do apologize for that. Especially when I get all excited, it starts peaking out, and then I hit bumps in the road, and it like just cuts out for whatever reason. It can't handle the volume level. Green light. All right, let's punch it. Traction control enabled. It's a little wet. God, these are new tires, Malone. Don't screw them up. No, we're fine. All right, guys. So check the description down below. I usually don't put anything really in the description, but check it out. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Hopefully your weekend's already begun. You don't have to work today. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget about Instagram and Twitter. It's just Matt Malone TV. check out the live stream at twitch.tv/Matt Malone. I try to stream every like twice a week, late, like 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So check it out. Go to griptvteam.com. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I have fun doing these little mini podcasts, and so we'll see how it goes. It's still a work in progress as far as audio and stuff. And if you guys have any topics, today I didn't really realize I was going to be just talking about iRacing, but apparently that's what we did, and it's fun, and it's fine, and it's great, and I love it. So if you guys got any topics, put them down below. There's a couple things on the back burner that I'll get to eventually. But yeah, have a great day, guys. Love ya. Goodbye.